I'm a huge fan of travel rewards credit cards. I love my Chase Sapphire Reserve and my Capital One Venture card, no doubt about it. But because of the pandemic here and coronavirus, those points from those cards are definitely going to be sitting on the sidelines, at least for the foreseeable future. So one thing I don't have in my wallet is a cashback credit card. And because of that, I went researching this last week because I'm really thinking about opening up my first cashback card. And in today's video, I wanted to share my top 5 picks for cashback cards here roughly in the middle of 2020. And the thing I want to emphasize here most before we get started is that none of these cards or recommendations come with any sort of annual fee. I do think there's sort of a time and place for annual fees, especially if you're getting tons and tons of awesome perks. But with cashback, you're just getting a little bit of cash back. So don't give away some of that earnings by paying an annual fee. I recommend with cashback cards that you find one that does not have a fee. So in this video, I'm gonna give you a breakdown of each card, explain sort of why I picked it, compare and contrast. I'll also put in the description down below links to every single one of these cards that I recommend. Stick around until the end because I'm gonna give you my pick for the one that I'm leaning most towards opening. But before we get to that, if you're new here, my name is Frankie. This is The Money Resolution. I put out videos on all things personal finance, usually once a week. I'm the author of The Money Resolution. I actually have a new book coming out here next month. If you like this video and you get some value out of it, I definitely hope you'll consider subscribing and liking this video. With credit cards, especially with offers, sign-up bonuses, that kind of thing, these do definitely tend to change. But I really try to focus in on cards that have been consistently good over time. I expect a lot of these cards are still going to be good in the near future, maybe even the far future. Let's jump in. The first recommendation I'm going to give you is the Citi Double Cashback Credit Card. I'm starting with this card because this is the simplest to talk about and explain. With the Citi Double Cashback Credit Card, you get 2% back in cash on each and every purchase you make. You get 1% back when you make the purchase, and you get another % back when you make your payment on that purchase. Simple as that. So unfortunately with this one, there is no sign-up bonus. But the beauty in this one is its simplicity. There is a $25 minimum threshold that you need to meet before you can redeem that cash back. And you do need to pay the minimum at least each month in order to be eligible to receive that second half of that 1% back. But this shouldn't be a problem for you because if you know me, I always recommend you pay your credit card back in full each and every month. If you're getting hit with any interest, you're really defeating the whole point here. Another great thing about this card is they offer a balance transfer at 0% for the first 18 months. So with a balance transfer, the way that this works is, let's say you have a high balance somewhere else with a high interest, you can actually initiate a transfer to this card and you won't have to pay any interest back, in this case, for the first 18 months. There is a small catch here, and that is going to be a fee that's charged to you one time when you make this transfer. In this case, it says it's $5 or 3%, whichever is greater, so it's going to be the 3%. Let's just say, for example, you're transferring $10,000 over. That's going to be 3%, so $300. $300, it's a bit of a sting to just pay right up front for this transfer, but if you're really determined to pay off this high interest debt, this is an excellent way to go. And I think without looking ahead at my notes here, 18 months is going to be the longest that you get of any of these cards for that no interest APR offer. Just be warned that you definitely need to pay in full each and every month, or you could be susceptible, especially with this card, to having to pay the interest amount in full. This is an excellent card, especially for you big spenders out there. There is no sign-up bonus, but you do get that super simple 2% cash back on every single purchase, every single day. No categories to keep track of. Next up is the Chase Freedom Unlimited, and we have a sign-up bonus. And this one is actually a pretty juicy one. You get $200 back when you spend $500 on this card within the first 3 months of activating. This is another great card if you want simplicity. So I'm kind of going in order from simple to a little more complex. With this card, you get 1.5% cash back each and every purchase, no strings attached. They do also offer an introductory period of 0% APR for the first 15 months. And this is great, of course, if you have one big purchase coming up, let's say a laptop or a motorcycle, a purse. I hear those are expensive, I don't know. But this is great if you want to put one big purchase on there and pay it down with no interest. Don't buy a motorcycle with a credit card. The other nice thing, if you do have Chase rewards elsewhere, is that you can actually turn this cash back into Chase rewards. And I'm a really big fan of the Chase rewards portal and how far those reward points can go. In fact, you can even use these rewards on Amazon, but you're gonna get the most bang for your reward points through Chase if you use it on travel. So not quite as good as the Citi card that comes with 2%. You only get the 1.5% cash back here. However, you also are eligible for that $200 sign-up bonus, so I really like that. And I can breeze through this one because that's sort of it. Next up is the Blue Cash Everyday Card from American Express. Again, let's start with the sign-up bonus here, and you get $150 if you spend $1,000 on this card within the first 3 months of activating. And they also have an intro APR bonus here. It looks like you can get a 0% rate on purchases made within the first 15 months. It also is 0% on balance transfers for 15 months. In terms of the actual cash back you can earn on this card, it's a little bit more complex, but that might be a good thing for you. You get 3% back on US groceries up to $6,000 annually, then 1% back after that. You get 2% back on gas in select department stores, no limit on this part, and you get 1% cash back on everything else. Again, no limit there. One call out though is that this statement credit cash won't expire. So that's a good thing. Yeah, this card has a lot going on, honestly. If you spend a lot at the grocery store or gas stations, this is certainly an excellent option. If you want to do a balance transfer, again, from a high interest card, this checks that box. Has a sign up bonus that's relatively easy to earn. And again, no fee on this one, which I really like and recommend. Moving on, we're gonna talk next about the Discover It Cashback credit card. You might have noticed in the corner here that this one actually comes in on the low end when it comes to that starting point of APR at just 11.99%. And speaking of credit, it's a little bit lower of a threshold here to get approved for this one at just 670 or above. This one has a 5% cashback tier on rotating categories quarterly, and then you get 1% back on everything else. Their sign-up offer is pretty unique and awesome, actually. You get cashback match at the end of the first year, and there is no max on that. Pretty cool. In that first year, let's say most of your spending is in that 5% category, you're effectively getting 10% cash back on all those purchases in that category or those categories at the end of the first year. That's pretty crazy. And by the way, those categories looks like it rotates between 5 options. You have stores, restaurants, gas stations, ride shares, and online shopping. You do need to remember to activate, which is a little bit annoying if I'm being totally honest. Some of these cards require a tiny bit of maintenance. That's why I started with some of the simple, straightforward ones first. This one also offers a 0% intro APR and balance transfers for the first 14 months. You can redeem your cash back at any time on any amount that you earn. You can use your cashback rewards at Amazon, which is actually a pretty sweet perk. So yeah, the first no-fee card to actually hit that 5% tier is pretty awesome, and one of the only ones I've seen, if I'm being honest. It does require a little bit of, keeping track of categories and attention to details here. Yeah, you got that balance transfer option if you need it. No foreign transaction fee with this card. All around, this is just a really, really solid pick. Plus you have that awesome first year match. So that's really cool. Just don't be too swayed by any sort of first year sign up bonuses. Otherwise, great card. Finally, we have the Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card. And I really, really tried to keep this one off the list, but it is a pretty sweet card. The one I almost went with instead was the Capital One Quicksilver card, especially because that one actually lets you use your cash back on Amazon. So as much as I'm not a big fan of Bank of America, this is a pretty good card, so I wanted to include it on the list. And a big reason why here is the sort of freedom of choice that you get. So with the Bank of America card, you get to choose which category you get 3% cash back on, and you get to choose from 6. So it's gas, online shopping, dining, travel, home improvement, and drugstores. Plus you get 2% back at grocery stores and wholesale clubs, so things like Sam's Club and Costco, up to $2,500 quarterly, then 1% back on everything else. I really like this sign-up bonus. You have a $200 online sign-up bonus if you spend $1,000 within the first 90 days, which is pretty easy. They also offer 15 months of no interest APR, which includes balance transfers, which also has a 3% fee, of course. Lastly, you can earn even more with the Preferred Rewards program. I honestly didn't look too much into this, but this looks like a pretty good deal. I know a lot of people out there do have Bank of America credit or checking accounts, and if that's you, you can truly get cash back by having your credits deposited straight into your account. So that's pretty cool. It's not just a cashback statement credit that reduces your balance, it actually is cash in your pocket. But again, I am not a huge fan of Bank of America. In fact, I recently put out a video talking about why I left Bank of America and chose to go with a credit union instead. If you're interested in learning more about that, definitely check that out at the end of this video. Okay, so what did I pick? Well, truthfully, I went with one of the simpler options because I don't like to keep track of all the different spending categories, especially because I do have several other cards where I do need to keep track of those things. So for me, it came down to the Citi card or the Chase Unlimited. I personally prefer the Chase Unlimited for two main reasons. First of all, it's that I already have a different Chase card, and so I can roll these points into that if I choose to do that instead of cash back. Plus, secondly, when you do that, you can actually redeem these on Amazon as well for shopping. So I could use it towards travel, I could use it towards Amazon, or of course I can use it as cash back. It's only 1.5%, but I like that sign up bonus. This is great to just sort of stay in the Chase ecosystem. That's the one I'd go with, but this is totally a personal preference. Look at your own spending habits. Think about the other cards that you have. Do you want a sign up bonus or not? Are you more interested in the rates? That kind of thing. And just overall, I would say a couple of things to look for with these cashback cards is definitely research and see how you're getting that cash back. Is it statement credit? Is it actual cash? Is it a check in the mail? Probably not. Also look at the minimum threshold to redeem this cash back or those cashback points. And do these cashback points expire at any point? Whatever. Okay, that is it. Those are the 5 cashback, no fee credit cards that I recommend here mid 2020. Links to every single one of those in the description down below. Nothing in it for me, just saving you 5 seconds from typing it into the old Google machine. And this was a really high level, sort of simple look at the cards that I recommended. Just know that I did look at about 20 different cards before I picked these 5. And I looked at all the most trusted resources. I looked at NerdWallet, The Points Guy, Graham Stephan, Ask Sebi, and probably a lot more. Medium, etc. So as a personal finance money nerd, these are the ones that I recommend. Oh, but there are actually 2 more cards that I recommend. If you're a subscriber with Amazon Prime or a member of Costco, both of their credit cards that those 2 companies offer are also no fee. I did a video comparing these 2 head to head, so definitely check that out next. Other than that, time to say goodbye. I'll also say good luck. My name is Frankie. This is The Money Resolution. I hope you got some value out of this video. On your way out, hit the like button if so. Consider subscribing if you'd like more content from me on all things personal finance. Drop a comment down below if you have one of these cards and you have thoughts on these cards or a different card that I didn't recommend, or just simply ask a question or say hello. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks. It also boasts here payment flexibility. You can carry a balance with interest or pay in full each month. I don't think that's a benefit. Just pay it off each month. This is how they try to get you.